everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Doing something starting off at the nighttime on this video. So behind me, update on the C7. We've got the Corsa exhaust on there. Absolutely love it. My wife absolutely loves it, but we've got to go a little bit louder. If you look in there, look at this. Look at this. You see that? Girls, what do you think? Look at those boxes from Corsa. We also have a box in there. I'm gonna start doing some mods on this car. What do you think, girls? What do you think? Huh? They're like, they don't know what to think. But we have an issue with the blue 95 K1500. This sumbug is overheating. So I am going to get some good sleep tonight. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and we're gonna try to figure this thing out. Now, as you guys know, I'm no mechanic, by no means. I've been selling cars for 20 years almost. Coming up in January of 2020 will be 20 years. That is mind-blowing that I've been selling cars for that long. So, but I've been around the car business for that long and I kind of learn a lot of things, kind of like through osmosis, right? So I have talked with the techs. I created a video on my iPhone. I'm gonna create a video for you guys on my GoPro, kind of showing you what's going on with this because I'm trying to figure it out and they're telling me one thing, but that's an expensive fix. So I'm going to attempt to look at other things and maybe do those little itty bitty changes that maybe I don't have to spend so much money. So I'll see you guys in the morning. But before, let's do a cold start on the C7. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. And good morning, everyone. That is Porsche. Corey, you wanna go outside? Come on, let's go. And that is Corey on the right, running out there. And right there is the K1500. It is Sunday morning and we here, girls, what do you think? We have a pretty routine Sunday morning that we do. Girls, you wanna go on a truck ride? Nope. One of the neighbors is out over there. That's what they're more interested in. But we have a pretty routine morning of taking the truck for a ride. So this is the perfect opportunity to take this out, drive it down the road, show you what it's doing, and come back and see if I can fix this thing. Who wants to go on a ride? Who wants to go bye-bye? In the truck. Huh? You are not cooperating this morning. All right, get up in there. Boom, easy peasy. Now you can't both take up the same spot. One of you have to go in the back. All right, so if you follow me on Instagram a couple weeks ago, we're in the same position, but the dogs locked the door. Luckily, I live right up there, called the wife, told her to come get it. I brought a second set of keys with me today, just in case. Let's see if they lock the door. Oh, hey, you didn't lock the door this week, girls, did you? All right, let's go continue driving and see if we can find out what this overheating issue is. Couldn't think. Okay, so I just started up the truck. We're backing out of the driveway right now. And we're just gonna drive down the road. I'm gonna show you exactly what happens with the temperature gauge. Now, temperature gauge is right here on this truck. You can kind of see my finger over here. That's oil, fuel, battery. Odometer, 88,908. All right, we're at 2 minutes and 18 seconds of vehicle runtime. There is a little bit of white smoke coming out of the tailpipe, and we're getting out on a side road. We're gonna kick it up to about 30, 35 here. Not gonna kill it, not gonna punch it. You'll see that thermostat go up just a little bit, the coolant temp, so to speak. After changing out the coolant temp sensor, this is where that is reading from because I had that disconnected for a couple days and it was not reading anything. All right, we're right at 3 minutes, 40 seconds of vehicle runtime. I'm out on the main road now, so now I'm gonna get it up to about 50 miles an hour, maybe 55. all the way up to just shy of 60 right now. You can see that temperature is just moving up a little bit. Currently at 4 minutes 30 seconds of vehicle runtime. You can see that's going up just a little bit quicker now that we're at 210. And I have some traffic in front of me, so I have to slow down a little bit here. See that's going up, going up. Visually from the hood, there is zero signs of overheating. See where it's at now. I think that's like 240, 250 maybe. I'm not sure what those ticks, each one of those ticks mean. But so now it's gonna come up. Up here, we have check gauges. In a nutshell, the vehicle is saying the coolant is 260 degrees. I have no overheating issues on the truck, and I'm just doing 50 miles an hour right now. So nothing crazy. So I'm gonna let off the gas right now. And you can see that that immediately starts dropping. There's nobody behind me, so I'm safe for on this road to start slowing down like this. I usually don't slow down this much because I'm on the interstate. So, but I'm gonna slow down, just kind of let it give it some dramatic effect here of doing it. We're at 6 minutes, 16 seconds of the vehicle running. Now we'll come back and we'll start driving. And that thermostat will stay like this the entire time. So if I'm coming home from work, which is 26 miles, I can sit here and be driving 70, 80 miles an hour, depending on traffic, and it won't go back up, even though it's kind of showing us going up here a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna get ready to get on the interstate here. And this is the first time that I think that's done that it's actually went back up like that. So, not exactly sure what's going on here. In the past, it would go back down. We'll see it there, it's going back down again. It's really weird. So, I'm not sure exactly what to do here. This is where I need your guys' help. You can see that I'm doing 70 miles an hour. It's dropped right back down to normal operating temperature, safe operating temperature. And it'll stay like this the rest of the time as the car is running. So here we are about 5 miles down the interstate. We're probably looking at about 15 minutes of run time, and that thermostat you see is pegged right there. I'm actually getting off the interstate here and gonna go back home, but that thermostat is pegged in the exact same spot. All right, so we're back from driving it, and I probably drove it for about 20 minutes or so. I just kind of want to show you the oil. So there's no foaming of the oil, nothing like that. This had a fresh oil change just a couple months ago. I don't know how many miles ago it was, but not too long ago, because I did some oil seal leaks and stuff like that. And when we come over here to the oil cap, we'll pull this off too. Nothing is going on there. It's hard to see in there, but there's no foaming. Smells normal. Nothing crazy there. All right, so you saw that overheating, and I bought a couple simple parts to change out on this, and I did this stuff off camera. I simply changed out the radiator cap, and I went out and drove it to see if that fixed it. It did not. It had the same characteristics. It did exactly the same indicator, but again, it wasn't really overheating because there was nothing happening over here. I wasn't losing power. So after fixing that, that was a real cheap part. It was like a $10 part. At the same time, I bought the thermostat, which was a $15 part. So we have $25 fixing this stuff right now. Watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and I was like, hey, I can do that. That's pretty easy to do. Right there was the thermostat. It's literally just that bolt and that bolt right there. Take it off, pop the thermostat out and pop it right back in. Literally, it's a 5-minute fix. Super simple. I did it right here in the driveway, and went out and took it for a drive again. and it overheated. So at this point, I'm like, gosh, dang it, it's overheating. Why? So everybody was telling me that it was the heater core. So a couple things that I did is I actually went out and I bought this guy right here. I bought a laser temperature sensor. So what I did from talking to the techs and to talking to the Facebook groups of the K1500 and also my great friend Joe Warner, who works with me, and he's pretty in tune with cars as well. He basically was like, hey, listen, feel all the hoses. Are they hot? Are they cold? Are they, you know, what's going on? Is if the heater core, hey, I'm recording, don't bark. If the heater core is blocked up, one of the outlet hoses is not going to have any type of temperature. So we use the gun and I hit the hose, and that's 160 or so there. I hit these hoses down here. I felt them as well, and it went great. So I told him about that, and he's like, listen, you need to check how the block is looking. So I hit the block right here, and the truck's been setting a little bit, so it's only reading 150 or so on it right there. So, you know, I'm like, gosh, what is this? I really don't want to do the heater core, but let's think about it. So I did a little bit of research online and found that this guy right here is a coolant temperature sensor. Really, really simple, easy to fix. So that was a Friday. Went back to work Saturday, said, hey, do we have any coolant temperature sensors? They said no. So darn it, they just literally sold the last one as I was walking up to the counter. The guy that I said hi to and walked past, he just bought a coolant temperature sensor from our dealership, the last one that we had. So we have another warehouse that's not staffed on Saturdays, and they had one, but we couldn't get it. So I went ahead and went to AutoZone to pick one up. So this is the AutoZone one. It's kind of tough to see, but the connectors, once I took this off, did not check the connectors on the wiring harness that's right there. And I went ahead and put this in, and it worked perfectly. But then I went to connect it, and I found out that that wiring harness, that connector that's in there, is not the same that's right there. Well, great. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just take this one back and I'll just get one at work. So I go back to work and they sold them. So, okay, let's go to Napa. We have an account parts with Napa. I really don't want to use non-OEM parts, but this looks pretty similar to the one that is in the truck and the one that I bought at AutoZone. And from research, pretty common to the truck. It's a 95 and it's a temperature coolant sensor, so I'm not too worried about it. But we look in there and it's got the wrong connector. So I'm talking to the Napa guys like, it's not the right connector. I showed him the right one, and they have this wire right here. And this wire is a 2-lead wire, and it has the right connector on it to fit that part. Well, I come home like, you know what, I'll just buy that, and if I need to change out the wire, I'll change out the wire. Maybe the previous owner changed out the wire and I didn't know about it. Maybe he had it worked on by a mechanic and they didn't tell him that they changed the wire, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I'll do that. Well, looking at the temperature sensor, and it's hard to see down there, but there is only one wire coming out of that. So I run up this wiring harness through here, and there's nowhere to connect a second wire. You see this is pretty short. So I kind of thought about it for a second, and I was like, I don't know about that. I'm not going to sit here and start cutting wires on this truck and do things. So I went ahead and waited on that, and that was last weekend. So I came back to work on Monday, and my colleague Jonathan was like, hey, listen, let's look on Rock Auto, blah, 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 blah. Well, he looks on Rock Auto and finds the correct temperature sensor with the correct wiring harness, the wiring diagram, not this one that's right here on this. And lo and behold, there's a GM part number. So head back to my parts department and I said, hey, listen, this is the part number I really need. Do we have it? We do have it. It's at our warehouse behind the dealership that is open now since it's Monday. So I'll go ahead and get that connector, and voila, it's exactly what I need to fit the wiring harness that's on this truck. So I go ahead and start taking that off, and lo and behold, it got in there. So this is why I like to use OEM stuff, because when I was putting this in, I actually stripped the bolt, if you want to call it that. I don't know what you call it, whatever you put your socket on there. So now I had to go get vice grips, I had to go get channel locks and start taking this off. So now this part is absolutely trash. And so I had that unconnected for a few days and just really watch the truck, because now I don't have any type of sensor. I don't have any type of coolant temperature reading on the truck. So I just kind of let the truck go, and no issues, just watched it visibly from under the hood. When I pulled over, I would stop. And this had been happening since I bought it. Even before I bought it, I drove it and I told my buddy Joe, I'm smelling a lot of coolant from coming around this area up here. So as it's sitting here on Saturday, me and my buddy Joe go down to the gas station to get a Red Bull. And as I'm coming back from the gas station, I see coolant in the parking spot that I was in. I'm like, that's weird. Walk in, don't think anything of it. Walk back outside a few minutes later, and I literally see coolant dripping from the truck and this area right here. Now that stuff that you see there is from the AC. I have a little bit of different problem with the AC that we're going to see if we can fix as well. And we'll talk about that in future videos. So there's literally coolant dropping all the way down here. And what it's doing is it's coming off of these bolts right up here. The starter's right up here. It's kind of tough to see, but it's dropping down these bolts. And I'm like, that's a weird area for coolant to be coming down. And of course, it's going to take the path of least resistance. So I sat outside the dealership for about 20 more minutes. Hey, Corey, how's it going? I start looking all around here, and then I find this guy way back there. It's tough to see, not going to be seen on camera, but this hose right here runs to it. I'm going to hook that back in. That's my light. So I do another video for my K1500 group and ask them the question, hey, why do I have coolant coming off up here? What is it? Stuff like that. And they tell me that that is a quick connect gasket up there, a quick connect thread for the intake. Well, then they start scaring me. They say, hey, you got to be careful with this because it can crack off into the intake. It happens all the time, blah, 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 blah. So they literally scare me to do this. And this is the part right here. Hey, give me that back. I dropped this. That's not yours. And what this is just, it threads in down there. You can see it's pretty old. And there is a plastic piece right here that's in the top of that. And it was actually broke in a couple of areas. It's really fragile plastic. So that's where coolant started coming out. Coolant had not leaked out of this truck in any way, shape, or form on the ground or anything at all. So I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, but it just started leaking, and it was leaking really, really bad. So before I left work, I made sure I filled everything up with coolant to make sure that I could make it home with no problem. So with that being said, we fixed that, and lo and behold, I take it out, I drive it, and it absolutely works perfect. But I can now safe to say we have 89,494 miles on this truck now. So you can kind of see where I started this process a few hundred miles ago, and we have a K1500 truck that is absolutely running perfect, no issues. And I thought it was just really cool that I worked through this with some help of my technicians at work, Chris and Robbie. Thank you so much. I talked to you guys the most. And John, Lil John, I talked to you too. And then the K1500 groups I'm in. So a lot of those guys helped me out, gave me a lot of insight, and I was able to do this myself, create a content for the channel, and most importantly, learn, which is what this truck is for, learn a little bit more about this truck. This was really, really simple. Basically, I had to take the air cleaner off, had to take this, I took this off right here, I took that off, and then I had to start disconnecting a bunch of stuff back here, which I was really, really scared of. I had to take this off, I had to take this out, I had to unhook this, which is why it's not plugged in, because this light is actually really hot when you touch it, it burns you. And I had to start taking these off right here. So I had to unhook a lot of stuff back here, disassemble a lot of stuff. Took off a couple of parts, connectors to the distributor cap back there, all that stuff. And lo and behold, I put it all back together. It worked. We have no engine lights on. We have no crazy things going on, and it absolutely runs perfect. All right, first drive back. There's no coolant leak. That's awesome. It didn't overheat, which is even better. Like I said, I think it was a false reading that was overheating. Let's check under the hood and we'll check the coolant level. So this was a concern that we had too, is that coolant level was dropping. So it's just a little under the cold, and I had it up here like at the hot level, but there's probably air pockets in the system, so dropping that is not that big of a deal. I'm not too concerned about that. There's actually, you obviously can't tell this, but there's actually less coolant smell coming from up here as well. That's very nice to know, because after I'd get done driving this truck after that long drive, 26 miles in from home to work or vice versa, I would have a strong coolant smell from this area right here. It wasn't anywhere up here, wasn't anywhere over there. It was all right here. No coolant smell. I like that. So in closing of this video, I've got to say that I'm super glad that I did not change out the heater core, and I did exactly what I did and what I showed you in this video, because during the Bachman Chevrolet's 2020 Corvette Mobile Tour Day, I'm guesstimating we had somewhere around 3,000 people. If anybody wants to count them, there's a time lapse on my Facebook page that we recorded here at the dealership. Check that out. It's absolutely amazing watching everybody come in, set up the night before, tear down that night. It was a super long day for me, but it was a fun and amazing day. Well, the previous customer, who's a subscriber as well of this truck, bought a 2019 High Country from me, traded this in. He came into the dealership to see the 2020 Corvette as well. He brought me this amazing gift. Look at this. This is a mint condition 1995 K1500 brochure. This is amazing. So in our conversation, he had told me that he had actually changed out the heater core, and one of the things that he had told me was some stuff with the AC lines, that that's the reason the AC lines got hit and broke, and they replaced them all because they were changing out the heater core. So I'm glad I didn't do that. It was $100 expense that I didn't need to do. So everything I did was absolutely accurate, absolutely perfect, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without all the help that I got from everyone. But check out this brochure. This is absolutely amazing. One of the things that I found really nice in here is look at all of these people around here. This dude's happy. This dude's excited about this truck, just as happy as I am. But I wonder where all of these people are right now in 2019 coming into 2020. If you know one of these people in here, tag them down below, tell them about the video, tell them to make a comment on the video, and tell us where they're at now. I'd love to know anything about that day of that picture. That'd be really cool. So guys, as always, I just want to say thank you so much for watching the video. If this is the first time that you're watching my video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn all of your bell notifications on, and leave a thumbs up. My goal right now, my only goal, is to hit 1 million subscribers on this channel. I want to be the first car salesman in the world to hit 1 million subscribers on a YouTube channel. I was the first one to hit 100,000, so let's just go for the big dog and get 7 figures, 1 million. So as always, thank you again for watching. Have a great day and drive safely.